So, coming towards the end of the first half of the coast to coast. Started off with 3 glorious days in the Lake District. Unfortunately, those 3 days I had major ankle strain problems, so I couldn't really enjoy them as much as I would have liked to. But then again, this is not a vacation. Then I had day 4, which was actually the hardest day because I was basically with a guy who had a bit of a blown up knee. I was going to help him across. He was struggling to navigate, which slowed me down, which meant I didn't get over the pass by the time the bad weather came. And apparently there were 80 mile an hour gusts, gale force winds as we went over the highest point of the mountains. It was an absolute nightmare that day. But my ankle was getting better, which was good. Yesterday got rained on all day. It was pretty boring, but again my ankle was getting better. And today should be interesting. Should be a little bit of variety. There's some river walking and a lot of bog hopping. I've got to meet someone who's going to do some documentary work, so I've got to go over the tougher bog section because of where they want to meet. But generally it's been good. I feel like I kind of feel like God's been in this, you know. I remember praying that if we had good weather at any point, because this has been the wettest May on record apparently in the UK, I prayed that if there was any good weather we would get in the Lake District, partly because it's so beautiful in the sunshine, but also because that's the most treacherous part if it's bad weather. So that prayer was answered. Obviously one of the biggest prayers was I would actually get through the actual coast to coast because of my ankle strain. But as I said in one of my little 60-second lessons, if you get the right diagnosis, you can get the right medicine. And I'd got the wrong diagnosis thinking my problem was the sprain, but actually the problem wasn't so much the sprain, it was the swollen ankle and the friction the compression strap was causing. So when I figured that out, although I'm still in pain, it wasn't too bad. Now I am in pain, but the thing I'm learning is you can push through with a little bit of pain. You kind of do get used to it. I think that's true with most people who pioneer and lead, is, you know, because most of the hurt, if honest, comes from people. But I think good leaders get hurt but keep on loving. And I know, just little practical things on this walk remind me of spiritual principles. So the fact that I'm in pain now, but it's not bothering me at all because I'm so used to it after all these days. This is day 6. Just reminds me of that. You just keep going forward, don't you? So yeah. Anyway, we'll see what happens. So far, the rain is staying off, which is great because it's going to be a very, very boggy day. And a very boggy day in torrential rain with mist where you can't see where you're going. So you can't choose the right places. Usually it means you end up in a waist or at least knee of bog. And I don't want that today. So here we go. Praying for clear weather at least. So these are the 9 standards. I don't know if anybody really knows why they're here, but they're pretty much halfway across England. It's been nice to have this place all to myself. Nobody's up here because it's a Saturday and it's not raining. Anyway, halfway across England. So on day 2, a man knocked on my tent and said, can I help him navigate around the fells because he was struggling for the navigation, which I did. It kind of slowed us down a fair bit because he was struggling with his fitness, because being from the UK, he'd not really been able to train because of lockdown, whereas I'd been able to mountain bike and swim and go to the gym and do some hiking. So sadly, he finished yesterday. He just felt he couldn't make it. I've actually found it much easier than I did 27 years ago. And it reminds me of this principle I teach, which is stop trying, please stop trying and start training. Because when the moment comes, if you've not trained for it, you're gonna fail. But if we start training, then when the moment comes, we can get by. It's why I like schools work, because we can train young people from a early age, and we can train them in discipleship, Bible study, and mission. So when their moment comes, they're ready for it. We don't have to deprogram them. We don't have to deprogram a Christian-centric gospel, when from a young age we can give them the kingdom-centric gospel, which is really important, I think.